Hey gang, Vin here. Vin's Bug Shop. Find that www.2bonthewater.com. Also on Facebook. Check out my other YouTube videos while you're at it. So this morning I'm sitting around thinking, let's tie up a cool looking woolly bugger or crystal bugger. So I'm looking through all my pieces and parts that I have, and I found some marabou. It's white, but the tips are fuchsia. So I'm going with that. Found some pink eyes. I have some pink Beadchain eyes. It's going to match nice. And then looking through all my materials, Estaz and FRITZ and chenilles and stuff. And I found some silver FRITZ. They have Estaz and silver also. That would work great on this fly too. But it's going to be simple and easy to tie. And look cool. So first thing to do is get the hook in the vise. My primary salmon hook, and for big streamers for Steelhead, is a Togen's black nickel size 2 curved shank salmon hook. I've been tying with this hook for probably 10 years, if not longer. I have many compliments from guys who purchased my salmon flies. They said they love the hook. So get the eyes on, get them in place. Some guys will put the eyes right next to the eye of the hook. I like it back just a little bit to create like a little nose kind of thing. I don't know. It's still the head, but I'll just call it a nose. So it gives a little space. Getting the eyes on is not rocket science. You figure it out, do what you need to do, just get them in place. And what I'll do is I'll take my thread and wind it back the hook shank. Then I'll come over one side, back the hook shank, come over the other side, back the hook shank, and repeat that a few more times. And essentially what I'm doing is I'm making anchors so that I'm going to bring this thread forward. It's going to cinch that in nice and tight and around the eyes nice and tight. It's going to snug those eyes to the top of that hook shank. And now, nice and snug, they're not wiggling, they're not moving. Then I'll take a peek on top. See if I'm missing any thread wraps over the top just to fill in the gaps because I don't want any space. Again, it's just a visual thing. Doesn't help any as far as making the fly more secure. But I like it looking a little neater. But for most guys, it doesn't matter. So then we're going to wind it back and we're going to stop right where the hook starts to curve. And then we're going to pick out our feather. Now normally you would just use one hook shank length to make your tail. So if we did that, basically all we're going to get is we're going to get the fuchsia. We're going to get the tip. So on this one, we're going to make it almost 2 lengths so that we get some white in too. Get that contrast in. And it's going to give you a longer tail, but it's also going to give you a little bit of color too. And a lot more movement with the longer tail. If you're worried about short strikes, by all means, tie in the stinger hook out the back. Get some 20-pound Power Pro. And do what you need to do. I'm not overly worried about it. Not like this. This is designed to be nice and easy and quick. Make sure that's lashed down all nice and tight. And once you snip your marabou, don't waste this. I throw all these little feather pieces here. I throw them in a pile. And then say you're tying an egg fly up. You want to tie a cactus fly. You just strip the bottom pieces off of this right here. It's still good chenille. It's not cut. It'll flow nicely in the water, and that little bit right there, you put that on one of your egg patterns. Now you got a cool little tail. Could look like milk. Or with the cactus fly, you put the marabou out the back of the hook and then out the top, over the top of the eye of the hook. All right, and also this amount here, if you're tying trout flies, your smaller woolly buggers, like a size 12 woolly bugger, that's probably just enough marabou for a size 12 woolly bugger. And if not, just get another feather, the other half of the feather, and put them together. You'll certainly have enough. You're not wasting all that much because you don't want to waste. There's both sides together. That's a nice little chunk of marabou. That might even be good for a size 10 woolly bugger. All right, don't waste the stuff. You paid for the material. Get the most out of it. All right, next thing we're gonna do is get a FRITZ, and there's also Estaz that comes in silver. All right, I'm gonna use a 6-inch piece. I know for this, with a size 2 with this, a 6-inch piece is going to give me about an inch or so of waste. So what you want to do, no matter what size your hook is, Start out with a 5-inch piece of material and let that be your guide to see if that's just enough material or if it's too much material, and then that'll dictate how much you need for every fly, because you don't want to waste a lot of material on every fly. You don't want to waste material. Alright, now we're going to lash that in. We're going to wind that forward. And when we're winding forward, make sure when you tie it in, those fibers are flowing backward. So then comes on, they're going to come straight up and down and flow backward just a little bit. Because if you tie this material in and the Estaz in at the wrong end, instead of the material flowing backward, it all goes forward. It looks kind of silly. See there, it's all flowing backward. If we tie it in wrong, all this stuff would push forward. It would be up like this, and you don't want that. You want nice, so it flows backward and moves in the water. A lot of flash. Alright, secure that in, and take 3 wraps over the material. Make sure your thread goes right behind those Beadchain eyes. We're going to keep it tight, tight, tight. Walk it right behind, nice and easy. Try and collect up the material and get it all away from the eyes if we can. Then I'm going to pull all the material back. I'm going to take 2 turns behind the eyes but in front of the material. And I'm going to take 2 more behind. And then I'm going to swing the thread up to my nose or head, whatever you guys want to call it. I like a little taper to it. Alright, so once we have all that, I have this material out of the way. Now I'll get my whip finisher out. Normally I say do 5 turns of 5 turns, but with this, because I have like the nose on it, I'm going to start at the rear. I'm just going to work my way down to the eye of the hook. And see the piece of material there? I'm just going to cover it up. Don't sweat it. No big deal. Back to the top again and just make your way down. Whatever it takes to get down to the front. Secure that on. Pull it tight. There we go. Some head cement. I like using Fly Type by Fly Right. You guys know that. You guys watch my videos. It's good stuff right here. Cannot go wrong with this stuff, okay? Good stuff. Now we're going to snip the thread. Snip the material. There you go. Got yourself a nice wicked looking bugger for salmon, for steelhead, crystal bugger, whatever you guys want to call it. There you go. Pretty simple, right? Nothing more than going through your materials, finding colors that you think match well together or contrast each other, complement each other, and you come up with a cool pattern like this, and this might be the fly that saves your day. Alright, easy stuff. So hey, try and tie that up, take that up to the Salmon River, and see what you can do, because it looks pretty cool, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Hey, thanks for watching. Get up there and catch some salmon.